Tropical storm Francine continues to stay just shy of hurricane strength, but it is still forecast to become a hurricane. Now, we've got a stalled frontal boundary that's kind of hovering right along the Gulf Coast, bringing rain to New Orleans already and a good portion of the southeast coast. But the storm system itself is actually just to the east of Brownsville, Texas. So over the next day and a half or so, it's going to gain a little bit of strength. It's going to make its way toward the Louisiana coast by sometime on Wednesday afternoon. It looks like making a landfall. Potentially as a strong Category 1 hurricane. Then it moves farther off to the north and just kind of dwindles. There's not a whole lot that's going to be moving it around. So it looks like it comes up into the Tennessee River Valley and then just sticks around, eventually fizzling out. It does not come toward New England, so we are not going to be dealing with any remnants of this system. But rain is going to be certainly a big issue and flooding for the Tennessee River Valley over the next couple of days. Taking a look at some current alerts, we do have a hurricane warning that's in effect through a good portion of the Louisiana coast. Out toward New Orleans, they have got a tropical storm warning. There's some tropical storm watches farther inland, but this is definitely going to be impacting a good portion of the Gulf Coast. Even out toward Mississippi, Biloxi is under that tropical storm warning. Mobile, Alabama is under a tropical storm watch. So the impacts of this will be widespread. And you can see this looking at the future cast that rain bands, are going to be ongoing for the next couple of days, which is just going to exacerbate the flooding once the main part of the storm system rolls in. So by Wednesday morning, wind is starting to pick up along the Louisiana coast. This model is one of many, and it shows it kind of skirting or hovering along the coastline. Not quite sure I buy that. That would be, I don't know if it's a better scenario or worse scenario. I would think worse because it's just going to bring constant storm surge here on the eastern side of the low. But eventually the low makes it onshore. Some damaging wind expected, of course, with any tropical system. Then that tropical rain is going to continue to just kind of drift inland, impacting the southeast for days. There are two more systems worth watching out across the Atlantic. You've got the one here highlighted in red over by the Cape Verde Islands with a 70% probability of development over the next week. The one that's out ahead of it keeps bouncing around 30 to 40% probability. So not quite sure we'll see that one develop into anything at this point, but it's certainly worth watching now that we are in the busy time of the year for hurricane season. So it looks like by the radar, at least, that, Francine is certainly gathering some strength and some organization. So we should see it become a hurricane soon. Meanwhile, all is quiet here for the Northeast. High pressure dominates our weather for days. It's going to be drifting overhead over the next 2 days, eventually kind of pushing offshore by Thursday and Friday. That's going to allow more of a southerly, southwesterly breeze to kick in, bringing up temperatures. High is going to suppress all the tropical cloud cover and tropical moisture off to our south. Temperatures are going to be getting a little bit warmer each day. Highs close to 80 Wednesday, lower 80s on Thursday. We might be talking about some middle to upper 80s Friday into the weekend. 80s stick around for all of next week, too, as we get ready to kick off the fall season. Chris and Abby?